Hoo, hoo, hoo. I'm a hillbilly. Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. All right. So, what have you been doing, Rob? Well, as you know, we finished our green man, right? And now we are going to be putting leaves, bear, leaves, pheasant. So that's what we're going to be working on. We have taken the SCM high-speed carver and we have carved all this. We have burned it all in, we cut it all in with our SCM. It's in there, oh, I don't know, probably an 1/8 inch or a little less. We've carved it in, okay? So that's where we are there, guys. So now we are going to turn on the dremel. We are using a saber tooth coarse bit, and we're going to go in here and remove all of this overburden, and then we'll get into carving the leaves and all that. So I'm going to take you guys along with me a little bit here, and we're going to get in here and we're going to start removing, I should say, all of the wood that we don't want with that big bit as much as we can. And then we'll transfer back to the smaller, probably aluminum cutters and things like that. Maybe a little bit with the SCM tool to get in between the leaves and all that good stuff. So that's where we are right now, guys. Okay? And we'll be shaping leaves. So if you want to learn how to shape leaves, this is going to be your video. This will be your series of videos because we have got a lot of leaves to cut in. Okay? So for the next 30 billion years, we will be carving these leaves. All right? So get ready. We're going to fire that dremel up. We're going to make some noise. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to start carving these leaves in. And, well, we're going to start getting rid of all the extra material anyway, all the extra wood. And we will find out fairly quickly here that this is not the burr for finer detail. It's okay for ripping away the wood, but you got to stay away from the smaller detail because it just is just too crazy. So, real quick here, I'm going to figure that out. Which, you know, I should have already known that. But anyway, I'll figure it out. And I will put the carbide aluminum cutter in here. And we will try getting rid of some of this material. And there it is. Flame burr carbide aluminum cutter. So basically we're just trying to work around the leaves. Wow, it looks like that cutter might be sticking out a little bit too far. Will I figure it out? Will I adjust it? I have got to do something about that camera skipping like that. I don't understand it. Yep, oh, I figured it out. Yeah, ooh, that was way out there. You never want your bits out that far, guys. So we're trying to get rid of the extra wood here. And guys, you'll see that a lot, flipping this stick back and forth, back and forth. This stick here is not so bad for doing that with because it's a cane. But let me tell you something. When you get into those long 50-inch walking sticks, you got to start flipping them like that. Yeah, it can become pain in the backside quickly. Especially when now that I'm videotaping all this stuff for you guys, the camera mounts in the way, and I just can't flop it back and forth like I used to. So this aluminum carbide cutter, it does okay, but still too big. And I have other cutters, smaller pointed ones. So that's what I should be using here. For doing the larger areas, this is all right. This cutter is about an 1/8 inch. It's the same size as actually I think it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger than the shaft. So that's an 1/8 inch. So the top where the flame burr is just a little bit bigger. But see, getting down into like them little tight areas there, this is not really a good tool for this. This is like trying to drive a bulldozer through a china shop. It's cumbersome, and it just doesn't have the finesse. Now, don't get me wrong, it can be done with it. If I change over to the 3/32 collet, where I've got the smaller flame burrs in the 3/32 size, the Dremel would be fine. But you can see the size of that cutter and the places I got to go with it. It isn't going to work out that good for just carved rob. Now the bigger areas, it's fine. You got room to move. Yep. You got plenty of room. But now, like, you get into some of the, like around these acorns. This is not the sharpest flame burr. It's actually kind of flat on the end. But that's by design, not by anything that I've done to it. Just the size of the flame burr. But you can see getting around those acorns there, it's having troubles because of the size of the tip of the flame burr. But for the bigger areas, it's all right for clearing out the extra wood to get the design to pop out of the wood. So now I'm looking for a different tip. I've realized that this is not the tip that's going to work for me here. And sometimes you just got to go back to what you know works best for you. And this isn't it. So I looked in there for a tip for a different burr. And I found one, but it's the metal cutter burr. It's not as aggressive. So I decided not to go with it. And the spots I'm trying to fit this one in, just not working for me. And now that I've put that to the side, you'll get a surprise. You know what I'm changing to, don't you? That's right, guys. We've changed over to the SCM high-speed air tool with a super aggressive little carbide burr. This is the meanest little beaver you ever seen right here. This thing will really removes material quite quickly. It's just like coloring the wood away. If you had an ink pen or a marker, you just kind of scribble away until the wood's gone that you want gone is gone. Yeah. So it now this is 2 times the speed, guys. Okay, I have sped it up. So just to let you know that we're going faster than normal. But this thing, the 15 minutes, or I think it was 15 minutes I spent with the Dremel, and you could see what I accomplished. And the 15 minutes I spent with this little guy doubled productivity. It doubled what we had to remove. I can get right in there to them little tight spots. I don't got to be afraid that I'm going to accidentally cut off one of my tips of my leaves. This tool is that much faster. And you just have so much more control over it. I'm not restricted by that. I'm going to say heavy drive cable, the heavy flex shaft. I mean, for the bigger things we do, like our monsters and owls and the eagle, the Dremel is fine. But for the smaller, fine detail stuff, like the leaves, you can't beat this tool. This high speed air tool, you just can't beat it. I remember before I got this, I used to do this all by hand with a knife. Get in there with a knife blade. It literally took me to do something with a lot of detail, like this stick or one of the other sticks that I have in my playlist. It would actually take months. Because most of it, I would say 80% of it was done with a knife by hand. Some of it was done with a Dremel, but like I said, 80% or better was all done by hand with a knife or gouges, little chisels. And then this little guy here, I seen an advertisement for it in one of the Woodcrafters books. And then I went to YouTube and I seen some demonstrations on it. And I'm like, I got to have one of them. And eventually I had got a consignment to do a highly detailed gun stock, which I did by hand. And then once I got paid for it, took the money, put it in the bank, and ordered this guy. And I'll tell you, I'd be lost without it. Even on my caricatures, the high detail, the details on them, like cutting eyes in and stuff like that, this is the tool right here that I rough them in with. And in probably 90% of the cases, I end up finishing with. I'll end up using it to finish the eyes and stuff like that. But you can see how it just gets right into all them little tight corners. And you've got so much control over it that you're not worried about, like around those little acorns there, you're not worried about cutting in too deep to them. You just got a lot more control because it's very fast. Very fast. See how it gets right in there and just zoop. It's like just erasing the wood right out of there. So I've learned my lesson. We'll be using the Dremel for getting rid of the larger areas of wood, but around these designs with the leaves, I'm going to just continue using my SCM to get them all cleaned out. They're just so much faster. And with the stuff we've been doing lately, there hasn't been a huge call for it. But when you get into this kind of art stuff, this is the tool. Every tool has its purpose, and This one's purpose is for ultimate high detail. Yeah, that thing, it just buzzes right through it. It just don't care. Great tool. Like I said, I could probably do the same thing with my Dremel if I went ahead and changed to the 3/32 shanks, because that's where all my my smaller burrs, the flame burrs are. That's the shaft size. So, but I didn't want to, so I just stuck with this guy. All right, we're winding down to this part of the video, guys. So share, subscribe, and like. And stay safe, be awesome, carve something awesome, carve every day, guys. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye, Jordy. Carbon Fusion.